Hello, crypto people. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, and BCH, which had a pump today. Going to talk a little bit about the space as a whole. Going to talk about the overall market, the stock market as a whole, very briefly. And we have a setup right now of bulls trying to shift momentum. Really, what's going on in the space is we're seeing individual altcoins see big pumps. Ripple was the start, and Ripple has been seeing massive dollar volume in trading. And one of our members just posted a statistic or an infographic that shows that Ripple is twice the dollar volume of Bitcoin, and I believe that is on Binance. Bottom line is that's a lot of volume. But we saw Ripple pump, we saw EOS with a pump, we saw Litecoin with a pump, we saw XLM with a pump. You name the coin and it's pumping, and what's happening is they're happening at different times. So we're essentially watching probably a group of people pump a coin, take their profit, do it in another place. And they're doing this time and time again, and they just did it with BCH again today. So this adds a little bit of bullish sentiment to me personally, just because you don't see this happening in an extremely bearish market. This is bulls going forward and capturing their profit and testing the waters to a certain degree, seeing how much price movement they can get with how many dollars they put into it. So potentially testing the waters. What I like about this is that it's ideal conditions for a trader. When you're seeing the entire sector move at the same time, you can put your capital into play, and then you get that move, and then everybody pulls back at the same time. Whereas, if you get individual bull moves, you make the play, you lock in your profit, and then you move that profit to another one. So personally, in 2017, I was able to outpace Bitcoin's trading from May to the all-time high because that was going on. And I was jumping from Bitcoin to Ethereum to Litecoin, where the entire market was doing that. And it was almost like all traders were just standing there and looking at each other and saying, where are we going next? And then everybody would pile into that name. And that's what allowed for outpacing of the most bullish market probably in history. So this is bullish in my opinion. Just the sentiment around the space. Bulls are looking to make money. We're seeing dollar volume come in. It's interesting to be watching. No, it's not moving the needle on Bitcoin right now, but it's giving some people some bullish hope. So again, it has shifted my mindset a little bit just to say, all right, something's going on here. You know, I still need the bulls to prove themselves to me on Bitcoin clearly, but I'm keeping a closer eye on the altcoin market and seeing what's going on over there. Something else to be watching. The overall stock market today had a bearish reaction to the FOMC coming out, and the FOMC in the conference, I forget his name off the top of my head, but anyways, the dude in the suit, he said that stocks are overvalued. Obviously, stocks are going to pull back as a result of that. So we're watching, we'll look at SPY real quick, S&P 500. We are watching the daily higher low pattern, and it is fairly close to being lost. Let's actually look at SPX, which is the actual S&P 500 and not the ETF. So daily higher lows are still intact. Complete turnaround today, bullish reaction to FOMC and then dump. If we lose the daily higher low pattern, look at this weekly chart. We are due for consolidation. We've been running straight up for months at this point, and we could pull back, all the way down $100 out of 2,900 and still be just fine longer term, but we are overextended. So if we lose the uptrend in the financial sector and the tech sector, that's a potential play to be watching. I've been saying in these videos, what are the odds that we have a bullish catalyst to get this weekly bull break? We know the ETF is not likely. We know that backed is probably going to be a little bit too late in terms of having a positive bullish effect on the market, just because we're looking November and this break on the weekly for Bitcoin is going to occur before that. But if the market were to pull back hard, let's look back here in January and February, that's another potential catalyst that could see some money go into Bitcoin. Now, I personally am very grateful that I am fluent in terms of being able to add funds to cryptocurrency, because if things do crash and the dollar does see weakness, you better believe that I'm going to be putting some money there. So let's see if there's enough fear in the market to see some funds come into cryptocurrency. Again, there's no fear at this point. Just now, we're seeing the FUD articles come out on the overall stock market. We haven't seen that in a long time. We're starting to see it now, so we're watching the daily uptrend and watching to see if that is going to be lost. Checking my notes. That's pretty much all I got. Let's do the analysis. Daily inside bar. Looking at the macro time frame, in this instance, daily being more macro, I could tell first thing in the morning that a daily inside bar was very likely. So I can shift and change a trading game plan based around that. For example, if the high of yesterday is 68.52 and we're up here at 65 or 65.50, if the high of yesterday was 65.82 and we're up at 65, 30 up at the top of this candlestick, I'm not going to be making an entry because that's right near resistance, and I would be expecting profit taking to stay with the daily inside bar. Yesterday was a very wide range. This is an oversold bounce. Where we left off yesterday, the odds of a bear flag were still there. We got another leg up that made a bear flag less likely. These two green candlesticks on increasing bull volume made it more likely that we're going to form a higher low and a tightening 4-hour range rather than just dumping straight back down to lower lows. So that does shift the odds, but we still certainly did not expect to break the 4-hour lower high pattern with 66.55, that resistance on this move. So that had the bears comfortable. So with the mindset that we're looking for a 4-hour lower high, the bears were sitting patiently and waiting for a signal. The signal was on the hourly time frame. Clear higher low pattern, spike in bull volume, getting their leg up, another higher low formed here, inside bar, bear break. There's your bear signal. Breaking 65.15, it was a double bottom on the hourly. As soon as that breaks, you get in the trade, and your stop loss is if 65.37 breaks. So you're literally talking a $23 risk, and your reward at this point, we dropped all the way down to 64.25. So at this point, that reward is $90. So that is essentially a 3-to-1 reward to risk ratio, and you could even hold this position until the hourly trend changes, which who knows how far back we'll pull from there. So that's a clear bear signal. For the altcoins pumping, it's been a very clear signal for me personally. Again, I'm not taking these trades bearish, but I'm pointing it out in the chat room and talking with others about their trades. And it's the 5-minute uptrend being lost. Lose the 5-minute uptrend, and the odds of hourly consolidation are very likely. So we'll look at these altcoins in just a moment for their signals. But as far as Bitcoin is concerned, we are anticipating a 4-hour higher low compared to 63.20 and a tightening 4-hour range into tomorrow, and looking for a break of that tightening range to give us the break of the daily inside bar. So we'll watch for a bullish entry into tonight. I personally would not be making a bullish entry. I would wait for the tightening pattern to break and make a play based off of that. If we get a bull break of the tightening pattern, our daily higher low will be established, and we'll be seeing a move looking for a lower high, perhaps in the mid 66.50s or so. That's just a very rough guess. Depends on how much volume would be behind the bull break. If we break it bullish, we're looking for a lower high. If we break it bearish, we're looking down at 61.06 support. So tight 4-hour pattern to be watching on Bitcoin. Ethereum. Ethereum is weaker. It is also a daily inside bar, just slightly weaker. The 4-hour time frame didn't get as much follow through. We are still struggling from exponential resistances. Bitcoin did get over those levels, but now back under them. So we are still looking for a 4-hour higher low on Ethereum as well. Support is 207.23. Anything above that keeps this little bounce attempt alive, and resistance is up at 222. Let's see where the bear signal was on this hourly time frame. And we had an inside bar and a bear break, and it was also the loss of the 15-minute higher low pattern. So high, low of consolidation, inability to see continuation, clear bear break. Bear break was at 218.40. We dropped down to 212.35. And again, you just put your stop loss above the high, and that tells you if the bulls recover and we see continuation, you're stopped out of the trade at a small loss. So that is ideal. Always want to keep those losses small. So we're looking for the 4-hour higher low here as well, compared to 207.23. Ripple, pulling back pretty hard now. Our daily range, our higher low is set, and that might be our lower high at 57.4. We'll have to see where that goes. People are asking, how did I know a 10 to 20% bounce was coming on Ripple? And that's just because when you see a bull move and run up to 79, the harder you run up, the harder you pull back. The harder you pull back, the harder you're going to bounce. So the ideal equilibrium patterns that form have huge ranges. And if they have tight ranges, I know that the pullback is going to be less significant, the bounce is going to be less significant, but because the initial bull move, the initial pullback were both very significant, we can anticipate while the bounce is going to be smaller than both of those ranges, it's still going to be solid. So we were looking for just the shift in momentum. It happened very, very quickly. And we did see continuation. The 4-hour time frame saw the huge bull pump and then saw follow through. So where was the bear signal on Ripple? Multiple times, it's been the loss of the 5-minute higher low pattern. Here on the initial bull move, might have went over this in yesterday's video, but we were watching this live. Let's see, this was yesterday at 7, so no. We were watching this live, and I was saying a loss of the 5-minute uptrend is a bearish entry signal with a stop above the high at that point. It's essentially a top fishing play. We pulled back. The size of the pullback said for me to look for a lower high. So right when we started bouncing, I said keep an eye out for a lower high, and then if we follow through and break the support level, that changes the 5-minute trend. So you can make a bear entry on the lower high with your stop up at 548. put it above that level, and then it's just nothing but follow through for the bears, and you can exit once the 5-minute trend changes. So you would have been triggered in. If you're more cautious, 517 is when you're triggered in, and then from there it was just lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. You get the idea. The trend changed right here. So we went from the signal at 517 all the way down to 483. That's a solid gain. Where was the signal to take profit? 5-minute lower highs were broken on this move. To confirm the trend change, we need higher lows and higher highs, and we got that on this big bull volume spike on this candlestick. So you would either have exited when 494 broke here to break that lower high pattern, or on this bull move getting above 4989. Either way, you're locking in profit on that move. Let's do it all over again. Bulls saw another leg to the upside. We know hourly consolidation is due because the bulls are overextended. It was a bearish reversal head and shoulders pattern. So it's a 5-minute uptrend going from higher lows and higher highs to a lower high and a lower low. The loss of the 5-minute uptrend is your bearish entry signal, and it's right here. So that support level of 551 breaking is your bearish signal. Yes, we did see some bounce on the 5-minute time frame. That's when you zoom out to the longer term time frames and say, all right, are the bulls really going to keep running here? And on the 15-minute chart, it didn't really show a whole lot of strength. And if you look at the hourly, it just showed a lower high forming. So that could have kept you in the trade. If you wanted to be, extra protective, you exit when the 5-minute trend changed. Otherwise, you let the longer term time frames ride out a little bit. And at this point, from again 551, we dropped all the way down to 495, a 10% drop at this point in just a few hours. Ended up being about 9-10 hours. So significant pullback from this bull move, but we are still looking for a 4-hour higher low on Ripple, and really anything above. Yes, this is XRP. You guys in your messages, it doesn't matter to me. I'm sorry, I'm looking at the charts. If I call it Ripple and it's XRP, you just got to deal with it. So we got support down here on 435 and 44. So a base of support. The 4-hour higher low has to form compared to that level, and we'll see if we're able to see continuation. So another name, just a tightening 4-hour pattern. BCH, look at this bull move. Just an absolute monster today. And we went from a daily higher low straight to a higher high. If Bitcoin did something like this, that would be like Bitcoin today breaking out to 6,900. That would be a huge move. So very notable for BCH to see this move. Now, again, same thing. You look at the hourly time frame and you say, wow, we're really overextended. We're probably going to need hourly consolidation. What's going to be the signal of hourly consolidation? It's going to be a loss of the 5-minute uptrend. We did not lose the 5-minute uptrend at any point until the top of that move. The higher low was right here, 513.12. And actually, there was another little higher low right here at 520.45. Failed for any continuation. Bear break. More aggressive, you're using 520. More cautious, you're using 513. Either way, we then traded sideways and dropped off. This is an example where we didn't get a solid follow-through move, but at that point, your stop loss should be break even or a very small loss. Then the bulls follow through and we say, wow, volume climax at the top. You can look to enter bearish on the volume climax, or you can wait for a loss of the 5-minute higher lows, and 536 would have been that level. Drop down, and here we are all the way down to 505. So essentially a 6% drop from that mark. So essentially what I'm trying to show you with this is, number one, to use the 5-minute time frame for bearish entries on these pumps when the hourly time frame is visually very overextended. Number two, not all of the trades are going to be winners, but they can allow you to set yourself up in a good risk to reward scenario to protect your trade and exit if the bulls do see continuation. And that's all I got. So hourly climaxes, look at the volume climax. Big upper wick. And actually, that was not the climax candlestick. But there are time frames that you can see, the shorter term time frames, that give clear climax signals on a lot of these names. Huge 5-minute candlestick, 10 minutes of consolidation. Huge 5-minute candlestick, half hour, hour plus of consolidation. Huge 5-minute candlestick, hour plus of consolidation. So keep an eye out for volume climaxes, overextended moves, and losses of 5-minute uptrends. As far as the bulls go, BCH made the most significant move on its daily time frame, seeing continuation. Ripple on the daily time frame is a tightening pattern. It made its big bull move a few days ago. Ethereum on the daily time frame needs to form that daily higher low. We are anticipating it will, but it has not given us confidence it has formed yet. And the same is for Bitcoin. Keep doing good things out there. Let me know what good things you do. Someone shared a good story the other day in terms of getting a homeless woman some clothes and a hotel room. Actually, I don't think he got clothes, but hotel room, and they landed the job, multiple jobs from those interviews. So that was a cool story. Appreciate those. And we got some more Iceland here with some horsies. We'll see you tomorrow. Do good things. I'm traveling this weekend. I'm going to a wedding. Not sure if I'll get a video every day, but I'll do my best. See you soon.